think Austin played today?
I thought he did some good stuff. We normally don't have the quarterback live, but there were so many times this spring when we were doing stuff, and he kind of would escape, and you were thinking, hey, that might have been a big play. And today he showed that a lot of them were big plays. He did a good job. He's got great quickness, excellent speed, and when you have that combination with being able to throw the ball, it really opens up a lot of possibilities. So I thought there was some good stuff there. He broke 2 or 3 nice runs.
Willie, at that position with freshmen and the way things go, is it like it used to be where you're hesitant to put a freshman in, or is it if the guy's talented?
We're going to play the best guy. There's no question about it. The big thing is processing all the information, all that kind of stuff. I mean, high schools in the state of Texas have very complex offenses because they've got a lot of great coaches, and Austin came from a tremendous program at Ridge Point. They did a super job there. We're kind of doing this around the clock, and so he's really done a good job of grasping what we're doing. This is a lot of new stuff for him. Terminology, verbiage. I had one of the alums was sitting in the quarterback meeting, and he said, man, I had a hard time even repeating what the call was, much less processing what the call was. So he's right on track. He's doing a super job. We're very pleased with his progress.
The priority in the offseason was to go get some offensive guys and fill some holes. And how do you feel like from that point to now, the end of spring?
Well, I'm really excited about our offensive line. I think we were big time improved in that area. We needed to improve in that area. We got 5 guys who got Division I starting experience. A few of those guys were all conference at their schools that they left from, and combining those guys with the guys that we got coming back were 9-day difference in the offensive line. And in order to be successful, you got to be good up front, and I think we've improved immensely.
Connor was telling us that between him grasping the system but also being healthy for the first time in a spring, that he felt like it was a really good spring. What did you see from him that maybe gives you some optimism?
I think that's probably the biggest thing for Connor is just the health part of it. It's hard to be your best when you're banged up, and we did a good job of kind of slowly breaking him in, and it kind of was perfect for us where he got here, and 3 months later we began spring football. And I think he's healthy, and we tried to as much as we can to keep the hits off him, but he also is a very elusive runner as well.
What are your thoughts on the running back group so far?
I think we got a good group. Stacy Sneed had a couple of really good runs. One time he reversed field. Rayshawn had some excellent runs this spring. T.J. Butler. Fat Burnett, unfortunately, wasn't able to play today. He got strep throat and wasn't able to play. Dean Connor, he didn't really have the holes that maybe you need to highlight a guy, but he's going to be a great player for us. So we've got a lot of Big 12 running backs.
Coach, as good as the defense was last year, how can you guys try to build on what you guys did last year and moving on to next year?
Yeah, we played good defense last year. We got a lot of those guys back, and then I think we've added some key components as well. Keontae Scott, over there, defensive back. Will James, he's been a really good corner for us. And we're excited about him. He's had a tremendous spring. Linebacker-wise, a little bit of depth as well. We're disappointed Jalen Garner got injured, but he'll be back for the season. We got about 8 freshmen coming in that have been, had to graduate. And those guys are all going to help us, and most of them are on the defensive side of the ball.
How's Corey Platt doing?
Good. I think he's, the big thing Corey needed was just get some reps, get some confidence, and I think he got that this spring.
Coach, when it comes to setting a culture, the Cougs don't beat the Cougs, play to the whistle, how do you feel like that has progressed from this year compared to last year?
Not bad. We still got to improve in that area. When the ball is snapped until the whistle's blown, and those are all subjective calls, which coaches and players sometimes don't have control of. Pass interference, holding, whatever the case may be. What we got to get rid of is those pre-snap and post-play penalties, and we want to have that be about 15% of our fouls instead of 30% of our fouls. It's, it's hard when you're lined up in the neutral zone and it's 1st and 5 instead of 1st and 10. Same thing offensively. You jump off sides and it's 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10. So we want to try to eliminate that and not beat ourselves. So we work on that every day.
Speaking of the culture, how has this brought the team together during the spring?
I think good. We've got some new guys, and I think those guys have done a super job adapting to how we're doing things. Both the new incoming freshmen and also the portal guys that have come to our place. So that's always you got to do it every year because you're going to have 30 new guys every single year, but we're probably a little closer to 40 new guys this season. Last year we were 63, so that's quite a few.
Coach, who are some of those veteran players that you've seen kind of step up in the leadership role in the spring?
I think Kentrell Webb has done a dynamite job. He's very vocal, which is part of it, but he says the right thing vocally. That's the other part of it. So he does a super job. Carlos Allen, he's been here a year. He knows how we do things. And Connor's a brand new guy, but I've seen him display a lot of positive leadership. A guy didn't have to be at your place for 5 years, to be a leader. Some guys have that natural leadership ability, and we got a bunch of those guys. I hate naming 2 or 3 guys because we got a bunch of them. Everybody good?
Did you get what you wanted out of the spring?
Yeah, I think so. They're allowing you to do a lot more. As far as we have what we call football school and things like that. So 15 practices was just about enough. Back 10, 15 years ago when they didn't allow you to do other things, you'd be wanting to have more than 15 practices. It's just about enough right here. So we got a lot out of it. It's time for our guys to get a little healthy, and then we'll get after it at the end of April when we come back and start working out again.
What do the next few weeks look like for you and the coaching staff?
Well, they have what they call student-athlete discretionary time period, and that's a time period where everything the student-athletes do has to be voluntary. So we're going to embark on that beginning next week, and so we'll be in that for the next month, and then we start working out again the day after Memorial Day.